Alright, so we are right back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and this one is a set 4 deck, but it can be easily modified into a set 5 deck. I'm going to be doing a number of deck profiles this week. I should have maybe 4, including Shenron, Yamcha, Hercule, the green one, and then a couple others, of course, with the other wish leaders as we get into the set 5 release that is most likely this week by the time that this is actually released. So before we do that, I did want to go ahead and put this video out. I'm doing this a little bit differently as well, but I really do like this leader. I do think he's quite unique. I don't know how competitive he is, but he does have a lot of good qualities that other leaders have, such as Krillin. But just because he's green, he is a little limited to what he can do and what he has access to, which is why I kind of made this deck. And some credit to actually a couple other deck profiles. I don't know, I've seen one. I really didn't see any kind of decks with this leader for one. So the full size power Goku, I didn't really see too many decks, but I did see one that gave me an idea of this one for this one, and I was just like, you know what, that's awesome. So I can't remember what it was. If you see something that's similar to this deck, well, thank you for the inspiration. So I've been playing this deck for a little bit, for the last few weeks, and it is very fun. It is pretty linear, but when you actually do get the win counts out, it is very good. So if we had to say pros, the draw power is amazing. Yellow is actually very strong as a control color. The end game and win cons are very good, and is a nice little slow pace, which is good for most matchups. Basically, I'd say the cons for this one is that yes, you do have a lot of draw power, but you do tend to tap out because of that, and because of the swap engine, which is what we're playing right now, or with this deck. Also for the pro, you do have Scramble Assault, which does help you draw and swap with a lot of barrier, so etc. But another con is that because he is green, he can't really untap. We don't play any blue, so you have to be very careful of what you actually play. And another con I would say is that on the defense side, again, if you're tapped out or beginning to tap out, it is a little bit hard to keep up. And other than that, if you get Zenoed, or if you go against something that attacks stuff in active mode, it is kind of hard to come back from that. So you have to play around that quite a lot. So it is kind of weak to that. All right, let's get to it. So again, I'm doing this a little bit differently. I'm going to go over the leader. I'm going to build out, wow, thank you. I'm going to build out exactly the deck itself and the thought process, so that way you can kind of get an understanding why I did this and why I did that and why I included this, etc. And basically go from there. So if you didn't know, this one is from the draft box 3, I do believe, and he is the green variant for the draft box 3 release or leaders. And when this card attacks, you may choose one card for your life and add it to your hand. If you do so, draw one card. So just like the Gogeta promo, the Krillin, etc., it's the same thing. So he can awaken and get card advantage really quickly, and then he switches 2 of your energy to active mode, which is pretty clutch with the swap deck. But what it does get interesting is that on his flip side, he has 10k on the unawakened, and then flip side 15. When your opponent has 4 or more battle cards in play, this card's attacks cannot be negated, or attack, whatever. When the card attacks, you draw 1 card and gains 5k power. So 2 things. Well, 3 things, I guess. Let's just go over that. When this card attacks, when your opponent has 4 or more battle cards in play, this card gains quadruple strike for the duration of the turn. So very important to understand that the game is going to be, and it's so funny that anytime that I play this guy, people want to see okay, what does he do? Because you just don't see him. And then as soon as they find out, they end up playing 3 or less battle cards pretty much the entire game. So it is very much of a control leader in that or in that way, and it's really good in correlation or in tandem with the yellow. So very cool. So overall, if you went away from this thing right here, which I did pull it off once, and I did threaten many times when people have 4. Anyway, So he does gain 5k, so 20, and then draw 1 card. So not only the draws and start with 20, quadruple strike if possible, you can go ahead and combo out with that too. So very, very unique leader, very cool. And the reason why I picked this leader is because, well, you know, I thought I'd try something differently. A lot of people are covering Krillin, a lot of people are covering Baby Vegeta, Son Goten. He's not that great, so I was just like, whatever. This guy looked very interesting, and I was like, you know what, I'll go ahead and try it out. So the reason why I went with the swap engine is because of the SRTOP Goku, and because he is a green leader, he gets to utilize those things, or the Goku fully in taking a card from their hand or from their battle card or battle area every swing. So very, very cool. And to kind of begin with the 0 cost sort of cards for swap is going to be Successor. So Successor, and I'm going to go ahead and do 3. So it's 3 Successor Hope. This one is a choose up to 1 Goku lineage with 5 or less and swap and add it to your hand. This is really good because most, if not all, of your swap cards, except for 2 or 3, are targets for this, and this is 0 cost, which helps for Scientist Fu and a couple other things for that. And really good to cycle through your deck so that when you attack with your leader, you can keep getting that card advantage and not see things that you don't need to see. Also, to see your deck is always good. So the next thing is going to be Adoptive Father. So no Bardox, and I'm going to play 3 of these guys. Plenty for the deck itself. So he's a swap 2. So it's a 1 cost, you play it for 1, and then you swap for 2. Most of the time it's going to be Scrambling Assault, which I'll go ahead and put it there right now. Of course, these are at a 4. Best card, or best Goku lineage card, hands down. They're even high to mastery. Takes some time to get to that, which we do play, but Scrambling Assault is best. So the reason why we play this is because he is a self-awakening leader. It's not that big of a deal in awakening as quick as possible. That's not the goal of this deck. The goal of the deck is to control and get to your win cons. And this guy, because he is just a simple 1 cost swap, it's not that big of a deal. It's really good. Plus he acts as a blocker when you need him. So yeah, Scrambling Assault Goten, which is going to be the main target. The secondary target is going to be Gohan, which I'll put in after. When this card attacks, look at the top 3 of your deck and choose 1 card among them, add to your hand, place them remaining at the bottom of the deck. So this is really good to see your swap pieces, especially if you don't see a Successor. It's also good to see things that you need, like a Crusher Ball, Flying Nimbus, what else? Scientist Fu, the Secret that we play, etc. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As far as the other Goku lineage, let's go ahead and just go here to the 2 in yellow and Gohan. So the next one is not him, but Interpret Son Gohan, which we do play at 3. Basically, you do want to see these pretty early. So your turn 1 play is either going to be, especially if you're going first, play this man and then swap into him. And just leave him there. That's it. That's all you got to do. He has barrier. He's not going to go anywhere unless something like Zeno, like an early Zeno or something attack him active, and then let them attack your leader. If you know that they have crit like Mass Saiyan or Vegeta, something like that, that they play something really aggro, don't do that. Just go ahead and place that in something in energy and then pass. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do too much. And then you get 2 cards in your next turn. Not that big of a deal. But most of the time, go ahead and take the hit if it's not critical, and then just make this, put this little boy on the field, and that's it. And then the next thing I did not put in, which I don't know why I just did that, but I'm gonna go ahead. Chi-Chi, do you love me? Something, I forgot the words. So this guy, this chick is pretty clutch. I think I'm gonna take her out. She's good in searching, but because you draw so much with the leader and as well as Scrambling Assault Goten, the top 3 for Goku lineage is okay. You know, it's not detrimental. Like the only reason why I play this is because of the secret, the Goku lineage secret, the Goku Junior. I was playing that, but then I switched to the Victory Strike one. So I'll explain why. I'll kind of explain why. This is probably a flex spot in which what you can kind of take out and put it back in. The next one is, of course, the 3 cost yellows. So if we just type in Dynasty. So we do play both this one and Gohan. So let me see, where is he? Okay, there you go. So we do play both. So we have 3 of this guy. So he's a swap 3 target, which swap 4, and then has barrier. So it depends on what matchup you have, but I went against a lot of baby and a lot of people who are up removal lately. And this barrier just kind of helps a ton with that. And then we play this guy, which is an alternative target, especially if they have something aggro, or especially something they have in rest mode. This is a quick swap 2 from Gohan, and then KO something. And then you can still use him as long as they don't have removal for swap 4. And then for this man, he is at A2. So moving on, of course, we have, actually we'll keep it there, the 4-drop Gohan, who is pretty clutch. And he is, I do believe, at 3 as well, playing a lot of 3s. This guy's at 2 because you don't really need him too often, but he's good to get, and he is a successor target as well. So 3 Gohan, and as you go up, you're gonna see the reduced numbers for this, because most of the time you don't really need to see these guys anymore. But Gohan, because he draws, so he's a barrier for 4, and then swap 5 for 3, which is busted, by the way, is you pay 3 for a 5 cost. Let's just talk about that for a second. But with barrier and then 20k, and you draw 2 cards. Like, this guy does a lot for you. And you can become the next turn or the same turn, because sometimes they don't want to attack into a 20k and waste cards, a good attacker on the next turn. So that's pretty cool. As far as the 5 drops or 4 drops, that's pretty much it for him. For the 5 drops, we do play 2 of, where are you? Abrupt Breakthrough and Ultimate Form. So these guys are actually really good. I've gotten a lot of appreciation for both of them, and the first one is Abrupt Breakthrough Son Goku. Wow, he is a 5 cost with swap 4 for 8, which is again busted for energy for 8. It's wild. He has barrier at 27,000, by the way, and you activate this skill when one of your Goku lineages with a 5 cost or more is removed from the battle area from the opponent's skill. If you have no battle cards in your area, you play this card from your hand for free. So in tandem with this, which is a 5 cost Ultimate Form Goku, has double strike, and you have 3 or less, which does happen quite a lot. Reduce the energy of this card by your hand by 1, so he becomes a 4 cost effectively, in which the 5 cost still applies for swap, by the way. But when you play this card, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. If it was in rest mode, draw 1 card. It does come in clutch quite often. You draw enough, but still. Anyway, this is pretty much the only main removal. If you ever noticed in yellow, there's really no removal outside of something that's in rest mode. This KOs really anything, and it really does help a lot later in the game if you need to remove something, especially blockers. But this card is really good, and as you can kind of tell from where we're going with this, I mentioned the TOP SR Goku before. This is Universe 7, this is Universe 7, this is Universe 7, and we got some more coming along too, and you'll see that. So a lot of targets for Universe 7, and these two in tandem with each other are really good. So if you just play this guy for 4, if you really need to, and KO something, and then the next turn you pass and then you remove it, you can just go ahead and play this guy. You're really never going to be playing more than 1 battle card in the battle area anyway, and if you are, you probably do it wrong. You just gotta watch out for that. Just use everything else as combo power. It's pretty easy. So knowing that, we have Mr. Goku, the 8-drop. So what we do is, and I might as well just place this man in there, we have 2 of these guys, and that is like the perfect amount. Like, honestly, is the perfect amount in which you kind of need for this guy. Just 2, it's perfect. So for this guy, he's an EX Evolve 1. You place 2 Universe 7 from your hand for your drop area with the Universe 7 Son Goku with a 5 or more. So these guys are both targets for that. Both of them Universe 7, both of them 5 costs. And then again, all these other guys, which you do swap into this guy, and then we do play Master Roshi. He's another Universe 7. And this guy has triple attack with critical. And then if your looted card is green, which is the reason why we made this deck, you choose 1 card from your opponent's hand or to a battle area and drop it into drop area. So this guy is really good. Like, shout out to Joel. He does play this in Universe 7 Victory Strike, which you are able to go ahead and keep going into the ultimate card, which is the Victory Strike. Again, I used to play the secret for the Goku Jr. He just, like, by the time I got to him for the 8 cost and swap, I didn't have enough cards in deck. Like, I always had less than 20 cards, and then look at the top 7. I already have everything else, which were battle cards that had different names in Goku lineage, in my hand because I already swapped into those. So you can go ahead and take this out for the Goku Jr. I'm just gonna let you know that this is immensely better, especially since most of the time people aren't gonna be seeing this coming. Like, honestly, like triple attack twice, to remove 2 from their hand, or 2 battle cards, especially blockers, and then go into the Son Goku. So that's just a thought. I'm just letting you know. But other than that, if we go back here, and this is the ultimate card as well, or the secret. But we do play 2 of the High Mastery. So if you don't have this guy, you're gonna have this guy, and this guy is so busted as well. Another funny thing is that you can evolve this from this guy into the Hope Universe 7. So if you didn't know that, now you do. So what you do is you go into Abrupt Breakthrough. You pay for, if you have 5 energy, it would be pretty ideal. You go ahead and play this card with swap. It does have triple strike and dual attack, and then choose up to 3 of your opponent's battle cards or energy, ignoring barrier, and switch into active or rest mode. So if they have 3 energy active, switch those. If they have 2 blockers and 1 energy active, switch all those to rest mode. And then after that, you go ahead and swing for a triple strike, 35,000, and then restand, evolve in place 2, and then go ahead and triple strike or triple attack critical for 35,000. Like, that win con is just so strong, especially coupled with the secret. And again, you can put the secret on top of this guy too. So it's just good. Like, it's just, to me, like, it's good tech. Like, I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. And before we forget, I'm gonna go ahead and wait for Shenron's lair not to freeze. Oh boy, it's killing. It's dying. It's dying. There you go. Last of a dying breed, you know. Come on. Okay, there you go. So Trunks, let's go ahead and put the super combos in there just so I have those. Again, you can switch these out for the set 5 super combos. These are pretty, it's not like, instead of doing Flying Nimbus, which we do play for, Flying Nimbus, which helps delay the game as much as possible. No, stop lagging so much. Come on, Shenron's lair, you're better than this. So 4 of those, there's not really much explaining. You negate the attack, place 1 yellow. You'll always have a yellow in hand, and they can only attack 1 more time. Really helpful against other, a lot of different decks, like, honestly. And 2 Crusher Ball, one of my favorites, if not the favorite card for, yeah, we'll just put the Judge promo in yellow itself. So I love it. And then Battering. So the reason why we play Battering is because 1 Mafuba can ruin, like, your entire day when it comes to swap. Like, it is terrible. Not only that, is that Mafuba for him, and whatchamacallit, just really anything. Like, honestly, just anything really helps against that. Just the Battering laser just is so clutch. Crusher Ball just plays anything and rest. So most of the time, if they have a barrier blocker or something of that sort, and they know that you're playing the secret, that's going to be very helpful for you. Play 2 Scientist Fu, if I can bring it up. Scientist, there you go. So 2 Scientist Fu, really good. Like, you draw a lot, yeah, but you don't really have, like, a lot of staying power and going wide, basically. Scientist Fu does help with that, and I think it's just a really good overwhelm card. Like, the only other thing I can really think of is removal, but again, you're being counterproductive when you add removal in this deck, when the leader card has to have 4 or more for a quadruple strike. So you want them to play as much as possible. So just keep that in mind. And then lastly is Master Roshi. So again, more Universe 7 targets, more negates, so that way you only have to pay 1 and is really good synergy with the wow, let's just go to screenshot, the flying Nimbus.